In this video, you'll see how to write rules for functions. So if I have this table of values here, first off I want to know, is this a function? Yes, I do have a function here because I see for every x value, all my inputs, I only have one output. And if I plotted these on a coordinate plane, it would pass that vertical line test. So I want to see if I can determine the rule for this function, and I want to write it in slope-intercept form. So I want to have it in the form y equals mx plus b. So one of the things I do is look for a relationship between the values in the x column and the values in the y column. And one of the things you can notice is that everything in the y column is less than what you see in the x column. So if I go from 4 to -1, 9 to 4, -3 to -8, -1 to -6, I'm decreasing in value each time as I go across. And you can notice that you're actually decreasing by 5. 4 minus 5 is -1. 9 minus 5 is 4. -3 minus 5 is -8. And -1 minus 5 is -6. So my rule for this is going to be y equals whatever I have here in my x column minus 5. In this case, if this was a line that I needed to graph, my slope would be 1 because of the understood 1 as my coefficient, and my y-intercept would be -5. Okay, we can try to write a rule here. So one of the things I'm noticing here, if I'm looking at a relationship between x and y, well, from 2 to -16, that's a decrease. But then from 0 to 0, that's no change. -4 to 32, that's an increase. And -1 to 8, that's also an increase. So I don't have that same pattern as in the earlier example. But I do notice that all of these values in the y column are all multiples of 8. And specifically, I see, well, if I take a -8 and I multiply that by 2, I get -16. If I took a -8 and multiplied it by 0, I'd get 0. -8 times -4, positive 32. And -8 times -1 is 8. So I see here I'm multiplying anything in my x column by -8 to get my y value. So my rule is going to be y is equal to -8 times x. Again, if this was a line, my slope would be -8, and my y-intercept would be 0. Alright, here for you to practice on your own. You want to write a rule for this function, again in slope-intercept form, looking for a relationship between what's in the x column and what's in the y column. And you notice, as I go from x to y, I am decreasing in value each time. -2 minus 13, that gives me -15. 8 minus 13 gives me -5. -5 minus 13 is -18. And 4 minus 13 is -9. So I'm taking whatever is in the x column and I'm subtracting 13 to get my y. So my rule is going to be y equals x minus 13. And last one here, this will be problem number 2. I want to take a look here and see if there's a relationship between my x column and my y column. I can see here, I don't see anything decreasing or increasing by exactly the same amount. 9 minus 6 is 3, but -12 plus 8 is -4, so that's not helping me. But what I do notice here is that if I take a 9 and I divide it by 3, I'm going to get 3. If I take -12 and I divide it by 3, I'm going to get -4. And if I take -3 and I divide it by 3, I'll get -1, and 15 divided by 3 will give me 5. So my x value divided by 3 will give me y. So We could think of this as y is equal to x over 3. Or another way to write this, which would give me the same result, is if I take 1/3 and I multiply it by x, I will get my y. And that's how we write rules for functions.